With my last video, I introduced you guys to the cult of Wells. And I had actually considered, taking a week or two before I did part 2 to that series. I really want to delve into the history of atheism. I have a special Cult Bunny episode coming up for you guys. But I decided not to leave you lingering with that tickle of insanity that you must be feeling right now. So in an extra episode this week, we're going to be looking at the disturbing indoctrination of Catherine Grove. What is up, you heathens and demons? Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and today we're going to be taking another look at the Church of Wells, at the Cult of Wells. And we're going to be looking at a very disturbing story about Catherine Grove. I know what you guys are thinking. Who the fuck is Catherine Grove? Probably never heard of her before, unless you're a fan of Dr. Phil. Catherine Grove is a young, very attractive female from Arkansas. And she was on her way to being a successful Christian person in this nation, one of many. She was studying to be a nurse, and she was on her way to achieving that dream. And then it just all changed. Catherine Grove up and disappeared. And her parents, Patty and Andy Grove, had no idea where she went, and they figured that she must just be blowing off steam with some friends, probably took a trip, and she'd be back shortly. But time passed. They didn't hear from their daughter. They began to grow worried. They started to fear the worst. And then a week after she just up and disappeared, they get a phone call from their daughter. And Catherine tells them that she's fine, but she's hanging out with some friends in Wells, Texas. And not just any group of friends. She had actually found a new church, and she had given up everything and moved to this new church in this small, isolated town of Wells, Texas. And she said that she can no longer talk to them or listen to anything that they might have to say to her. That she can only listen to the elders of this new church. Well, I think Patty and Andy Grove probably did what most parents would do in that situation. They got the fuck down to Wells, Texas. They climbed into their RV, and they went down to Wells, Texas, and they started asking around the people of Wells, Texas, and saying, hey, yo, what's up with this church? Our daughter just up and moved here. And the people of Wells, Texas is like, get your daughter the fuck away from that church. They're a fucking cult, and you're not the first parents that have come looking for their kid. So what appears to have happened is, like many Americans, especially along the Bible Belt in the South, Catherine Grove grew up as an evangelical Christian, a fundamental Christian. She truly believes in Christianity. And she came across the elders of the Church of Wells online. And over an intercourse that they were having online, they indoctrinated her and made her feel like she wasn't a saved Christian, and she wasn't following Christianity the way that she's supposed to be following. That she was, in fact, what Islam would call an apostate. And so over a period of time, Catherine began to believe these people and moved to Wells, Texas without telling nobody. And we're going to see Catherine, because it became a huge scandal, and we're going to talk about it later, how she just her parents went down there and they're trying to get her away from this cult, and she just ups and leaves the cult one day, and they take her away for 3 days, but then she returns to the cult, and it became a national story kind of. I had never heard of it before, but it appears to have become a national story, and it definitely is now that Dr. Phil took up the cause. And the video we're going to be responding to today, this is going to be a long video, so bear with me, and it's going to be crazy. The video we're going to be responding to today is actually Catherine Grove telling the world and telling her parents that she's fine, she's where she wants to be, nobody needs to worry. But you have to understand that this church has a reputation for drugging people. And they have a compound, and if you're part of this church, you live in this compound. This rackety ass building built with boarded up windows. And you're gonna see all of that, but first we're gonna take a look at this video. And they're not gonna roll out Catherine at first, they're gonna roll out one of the elders, a douchebag named Sean Morris, a fundy of all fundies. And he's gonna try to unpack what Catherine is going to tell you. And basically what Catherine is going to tell you is exactly what they want her to tell you. But first, let's hear from Sean Morris.
Hello, my name is Sean Morris. I'm one of the pastors of the Church of Wells, and I wanted to give a brief introduction to this video before Catherine speaks.
First off, dude, you look like a douchebag. You look creepy as fuck. And as we're gonna see later, all three elders of this church are very young dudes. You're way too fucking young to call yourself an elder of anything unless you're playing Elder Scrolls, which I love. I'm not dissing Elder Scrolls by associating it with a douchebag like this. But this motherfucker's crazy, and why the fuck do you feel the need to come out and kind of set the stage for Catherine? Let Catherine speak for herself. And you guys have her fairly fucking brainwashed. It's apparent, it's creepy, and we're gonna see that shit in just a little bit.
This video exists so that she has means to tell her personal testimony about what has happened when she left the church and she went to spend some time with her parents. Many people have heard reports from her parents, propagated locally and nationwide, of their fears about the Church of Wells, from sexual abuse to kidnapping to human trafficking to many other atrocious and outrageous accusations.
You know, I have a church right down the road from where I live. And this church is kind of uppity. It's for the well-to-do people of the town I live in. And you know, the one thing that I've never heard about this church is that they traffic people, human beings, that they drug people. Any of the shit that this dude just said that people say about their fucking church, acknowledging that people say this shit about his fucking church, I've never heard that from the church down the street, yo.
It has resulted in multitudes of authorities examining us, from FBI to local police to CPS to personal investigators and so on. And we have been acquitted and declared innocent in all of these examinations. Nevertheless, the propaganda of gossip and slander of the Church of Wells continues to go around the nation.
Maybe it's because you guys are fucking crazy, right? Maybe it's because even if, say, all of these allegations are false, and you don't drug people, rape people, fucking kidnap people, you don't do none of this nasty shit, that you don't have those windows boarded up at your fucking compound because you're raping people. Say none of that is true. Just what you preach, your dogma, is fucking crazy, and people should stand against it. Because your dogma is basically everything in the Bible is word, and you should be living that way. That's what you preach. And that is fucking unacceptable. That is fucking crazy. But then you throw in all these other allegations. And y'all motherfuckers are sick, nasty, and I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna speculate that you're fucking guilty. You act guilty, you appear guilty, you are doing something that is guilty, and I hope that the fucking authorities finally come down on your asses with an iron fucking hammer. But we'll talk later about why they haven't yet.
And this video exists because Catherine wants to suppress the slander. Catherine wants to speak her own personal testimony about what has happened, and I'm asking that the viewer would give a listening ear as she tells her own testimony. I'm asking that you have compassion and that you would condescend, because she is not a public speaker and she is not of eloquent speech.
What the fuck is she is not of eloquent speech? What does that fucking mean? And you're gonna see what it means. It means that the chick they're about to put on in front of the camera is drugged so severely that she can barely fucking pronounce English or carry a coherent thought. Now, this same woman that before she went to the Church of Wells was in a very competitive nursing program in Arkansas to become a fucking RN. This woman knows how to fucking speak. And I'm gonna ascertain that since it is said that you are drugging these people and indoctrinating these people while they're drugged in this drug state, that you're using these drugs to commit this indoctrination and this brainwashing to carry out the methodology of the cult you have created. And you're trying to say that she's pretty much a retard. Yeah, she's not a retard, but she's pretty much a fucking retard. And I see right through it. And I hope you guys see right through it. And I'm gonna warn you that it's fucking disturbing when we get to it.
So it is going to require the viewer to have some patience as you listen to her own personal account. Ever since we knew Catherine, from the first day we met her approximately 2 years ago, she has not been of eloquent speech. And she has been just as you'll see her on the video today.
You just had to throw that in there, didn't you? But you know what my take is from that? Is that she wasn't like that before she came to the Church of Wells. You know she wasn't like that before she came to the Church of Wells. And you're trying to justify it before she even gets in front of the camera.
You'll hear how the FBI got involved and examined her under the accusations of her parents that we torture her and do many other outrageous and unspeakable crimes against this human being.
You know, another thing that I never heard about the church down the street is that they tortured their parishioners, that they tortured their followers. Never heard that shit. Oh, and I know that they would say, oh, it's the crazy parents trying to get their daughter away from the crazy cult. But obviously they have reason to believe this shit. And Catherine Grove isn't the first person or situation that has been an issue with this crazy ass fucking Christian church.
This is unrighteous, sinful, and unacceptable behavior, both according to man's law and, more importantly, God's law.
I'm sure we're in agreement, but I get the feeling you're not talking about the rape, drugging, and torture of Catherine Grove and everybody else that's in that fucking compound. I'm sure you're not talking about that shit. I'm sure you're talking about, oh, I don't know, people exposing the nasty shit you're doing. But before we meet Catherine, I want you guys to take another look at Catherine Grove. At this beautiful young woman. Sure, a fundie before she went to the Church of Wells. But beautiful, smart, intelligent. In school to become a nurse. And now, let's meet Catherine Grove.
The situation between my parents and I has caused a lot of pressure to be upon me that I have not dealt well with, and I should deal with it well.
That's the first little bit from Catherine Grove on this video. And you tell me that this young woman, she's a young woman. When I first watched this video, I thought she was a little fucking girl. But she's a grown woman. They just kind of, I mean, she looks like a little girl. But this grown woman can't put together a coherent thought. Tell me this woman isn't drugged.
And that's why I'm here speaking now, because I desire to be telling the truth of what happened between my parents and I from the time I left to the time till the time I left them.
I mean, do you see this? Do you see that she's obviously coaxed? And that she obviously can't keep her thoughts strung together? That she can't speak those thoughts clearly? She's obviously drugged. Obviously saying what the church wants her to say. She has a hard time looking into the camera. She keeps looking down as if she's ashamed of what she's saying. She looks like a little fucking girl. I mean, it's weird, man. It reminds me of a video that you'd see from the Taliban or ISIS, you know, or Iran or somewhere where American soldiers have been captured, and these soldiers are making videos saying obviously what their captors want them to say. And it's distressing and it's disturbing. But let's keep watching.
Was talking with my fiance on April 2nd, and my parents were brought up in the conversation, and it turned into an argument.
So right here, the story's gonna get a little convoluted, a little confused. I mean, she's obviously drugged and can't keep her story straight. And right here, I think she's actually giving you some truth, talking about this fiance. Now, I don't know who this fiance is. I'm going to guess that it's probably the elder Sean Morris, who introduced her, almost as if she was his property, and felt the need that he needed to introduce his property and put his influence into the video. So I'm gonna guess that it's Sean Morris, and that on this day that she's talking about, that they had a conversation about her parents, because her parents was going around finding out about this cult, and they didn't like that shit. So this upset him.
And I wasn't doing well I wasn't speaking what I should speak. I was getting upset.
Do you hear her? She's telling you that she was saying stuff that they didn't like, and she was getting upset, and it was over her parents. So she's telling you the truth, but she's soon gonna start telling you exactly what they have maybe beaten into her.
And my fiance was doing really well and very mild and temperate and patient. He took off his whole day of work to help me, and I just kept on getting more frustrated.
Alright, so here's where she contradicts herself. Because she already admitted to the argument that she had with her fiance. Now, I hate that term. I'm gonna call this douchebag what he is. He isn't her fiance. He's her rapist. And he's indoctrinated her with this Jesus bullshit and made her think that she has to marry her rapist, the person that drugged her, the person that conned her away from her home and her safety, and has taken advantage of her faith with severe cultish indoctrination using drugs. So I'm gonna call this douchebag her rapist and not her fiance. But notice how she is defending him now, and how she's saying that he was calm and patient and helped her, when she already copped to the fact that he wasn't any of those things. But now she must say what he wants her to say. And I think it's fairly fucking apparent. And she can't even really hide it because she's so fucking drugged.
About my parents, they had been for almost 2 years speaking against my church. They had come at the church with many claims that the church abused me in various ways that I know are false.
You know, as any fucking parent should, as I would if it was my daughter. You know, she talks about how they were there in Wells for 2 years trying to get their daughter back. 2 years trying to get her away from this cult. 2 years. Now this video was 3 years old. So, you know, that's 5 years right there that these parents haven't been able to get their daughter away from this cult, except for one chance that they had when she went back and made this video. You know, and I really hope that the national exposure that Dr. Phil's provided to these fucktards puts them where they belong, in jail.
I knew the whole time were false. I chose to not speak to them for that long a time period because my parents are very contentious towards the church and towards me as well. And I'm not good at all about talking to them or contending with them.
I mean, who the fuck even really talks like that? My parents were very contentious with the church and with me. Nobody talks like that. She's obviously being forced to say what these perverted motherfuckers want her to say. And they're using drugs and intimidation and their indoctrination to do so. And it's disgusting. And I think that her and everybody in that compound has been in there long enough. And I think that it's time we get these people away from this insanity. And this video is a lot longer than that. A lot longer. I just had to stop watching it because it's so disturbing to me. She's obviously drugged. She's obviously a fucking victim. She's obviously been brainwashed. And it's disgusting. And this is Christianity at its extreme. And this is why I fight against Christianity. Why I equate even the most mild-mannered Christian with that indoctrination that mild-mannered Christian received, and how easily that indoctrination can turn to more severe indoctrination. But why did she make this video? Why did they feel the need to make this video? The Church of Wells, the Cult of Wells, why did they feel the need to put this video out on YouTube? And how, when they actually was editing this shit together, did they not see how fucking crazy it makes them look? Well, they did so because she escaped. She just left one day. And she called the cops. And right now we're going to listen to that 911 call, part of it.
Warren Sheriff's Office. Hello? Hello?
I need somebody to pick me up.
Where are you?
I'm sorry?
Where are you?
I'm on the highway, I-69.
Why do you need somebody to pick you up?
Huh?
Why do you need somebody to pick you up?
I don't have a car.
Have you been assaulted, or are you just walking?
Huh?
Have you been assaulted, or are you just walking?
Yes.
Or have you been assaulted, or are you just walking down the road?
I'm just walking down the road.
Very strange, just after 2 years of this parents living in their RV in Wells, Texas, Catherine decides after a bad day with her rapist, arguing about, her pesky parents asking truthful questions, she gets away and she calls the cops and she says, "Come pick me up." And I find it strange. It's like, just common for her to call the police and I don't have a car, so please come pick me up. And she'd go on to say that she's not in any danger, and it's really weird phone call. And she sounds simple-minded, and I think that's explained by the drugs that they are putting into these people. Because as I said, she wasn't simple-minded before she went to the Church of Wells. Now, she was an evangelical Christian. She was indoctrinated into that evangelical philosophy, but she wasn't simple-minded. Not like this. And it's apparent that they're doing something to this young woman. I mean, who are these 3 elders of the Church of Wells? Who are these 3 young men with so many monstrous allegations against them? They're young. Too young to be elders in anything. And their names are Jake Gardner, Ryan Ringnauld, and Sean Morris, who you met today. We're going to be looking more at the Church of Wells, and I'm going to keep an eye out for this, because I hope that Catherine Grove and everybody else that might have been brainwashed into this cult, drugged into this cult, I hope that they can find some freedom and actually understand the freedom they receive when they get it. And just look at this rickety ass compound with the top level all boarded up so people can't see in what's going on in there. I mean, what kind of church boards up windows so people can't see inside? What the fuck are they trying to hide? Look at all the fucking women, young women walking around with babies. Something is not right here. And why haven't the authorities done anything about this shit with so many accusations swirling around? Why haven't they went in like they did in Waco? Well, probably because they learned from Waco. They don't want a mass suicide. They don't want a mass killing. And the sad fucking truth is it's hard for them to do so because people have a freedom of fucking religion. There is a freedom to believe the retarded shit you believe, and authorities don't mind taking little kids from their mothers at the border, but god damn it if they step on your freedom of fucking religion. This is only part 2. We're going to be looking more at this. In part 3, we're going to be responding to Jake Gardner himself. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. And I know that this shit is disturbing. It's disturbing for me to watch too. But we need to be aware of it. And it doesn't matter that it's all the way down in Wells, Texas. These are our fellow human beings. And they're being drugged, they're being tortured, and they're being, I think, raped. All in the name of God. Your Christian God. You should be as angry as a Christian as I am as an atheist. Until the next time, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. If you like my videos, hit that thumbs up. Hit that bell so you can be notified when I make new videos. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. I'll see you soon.